Good evening, viewers, and welcome to another program, The Balance. Just to tell you that I was not in town, we came last week, but we've enjoyed a lot outside there and learned a lot and ready to even give a lot in the Gambia. And then that's why today I have these young people that have traveled along with me to Russia to witness the World Youth and Student Festival that happened in Russia just recently. But they are here in-house and they will tell you more things that they learned and what are some of the experience that they gain, and they are ready to give more to the Gambians. But before that, I have to also show you a video of wonderful things that they have achieved, they've been doing. These people are wonderful, and some of them are even getting a wife, a Russian wife, so we'll be mixing them.
Yeah.
Let's just watch this video, and when we come back, we will just show you a lot because they're in-house with me. On that note, let's watch this video. All right, welcome back. Wow, wonderful, Ibrahim.
Yes, indeed, wonderful.
I used to call you Mongolian. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Thank you, Baba. Thank you very much. Thank you for having us here. After having an intense and memorable and historic 2 weeks in Russia to attend the 19th World Festival of Youth and Students. Baba, I can tell you this is quite my best experience so far as I am concerned. And I'm sure my colleagues as well who joined with me, and the entire Gambian delegation who made it to Russia under the leadership of our able Abdullah, who served as the hard-working leader of the Gambian delegation, to make sure he mobilizes the Gambian delegation to attend the 90th World Festival of Students and Youths that was held in Russia. And it will interest you to know that there are more than 30,000 people from all over the world that attended this festival in Russia. People from far and wide, people white, black, from all race, women, children, adults, everyone was in Russia to experience the amazing festival of youths and students. And of course, we'll get into the nitty-gritties of what exactly happened in Russia. Of course, my colleagues are also here. They will share their perspective.
Of course, Ibrahim, you will tell us about Mongolian. Now, let's come to Hassan. Hassan also being one of the head of the delegates who have really made this really success, a good one. Like he said, Abdullah, we are proud of you. Thank you very much for that wonderful organization. But Hassan, tell us more about this thing.
Well, thank you very much, Baba. As my able friend rightly said, this is a historic trip. It was a trip that comprises of over 21 Gambian youths that went to Russia to attend the 19th World Festival of Youth and Students. And it was not just to attend, it was to make an impact in the lives of Gambians that went there, and to also show youths in other countries how Gambian youths comfort themselves, how Gambian youths do things back home here in the Gambia. So it was actually a memorable trip for us. It was really hectic though, but Alhamdulillah that, everything went smoothly, and all the participants are back home safely to their families.
All right, Hassan, you've been part of the people that are head of the delegates. And then tell us, how does this come until youths apply and were able to be lucky to be selected, and the selection criteria too, which is very important?
Yeah, it's very important, Baba. As my colleague rightly said, we have the head of the NPC, that is Abdullah Kanyi. He was the one that the organizers contacted from Russia, and then he actually distributed the information to everybody that needed to know about it. Then we had the formation of a National Preparatory Council, which is mandatory for every country that is participating in the festival to have. And this council was not only responsible for the selection of delegates, it was also responsible for the preparation of all delegates from their country. As my colleague said, all delegates from our countries should be prepared. And when we went to Rossia, before going to Rossia itself, we invited the National Youth Council, because they are the leaders of youths.
Yeah.
We also invited the Ministry of Youths and Sports to at least help us in the preparation and the selection of delegates from the Gambia. Because we don't just want to select people. We want to select people that will go to Rossia and then have an impact in the lives of the 30,000 delegates that went there. And Alhamdulillah, when we went to Rossia, our selection was not biased though when we were going, because we selected based on criteria. You have to be well established here in the Gambia, be it youth activist, be it a student activist, or be it a well-established business person in the Gambia, to at least convince the people that were in the selection board that when I go to Rossia, I will definitely come back. Because as I'm sorry to say, but as Gambians, we normally have this syndrome of going abroad for conferences and one or two people will just walk away from the group.
Abscond.
Yeah.
Abscond. But I hope we don't have an abscond, is it?
No, not at all.
Okay, nobody absconded. Bravo, guys. Wonderful.
Yeah, so that was one of the criteria. And the other criteria was that the participant should be able to pay for his or her air ticket from the Gambia to Rossia and back home. That was the second criteria that we asked the participants to produce. And then all 21 participants, including myself, actually did that. And some people were actually paid for by the government.
All right. Yeah, that's beautiful. As I will come down, because we still have the young, wonderful youths on the table. But before that, I will ask Ibrahim, coming back to you, I want to know, maybe people will ask, what is this World Youth Student Festival all about? Because in your statement, you've made mention of this is the 19th World Youth Festival. Just can you please highlight, and why is it 19? Is it because it has been happening in the past?
Yeah, interesting question. I think it is important that we give a background of what the festival precisely is all about. And like you said, this is the 19th World Festival of Students and Youths. And it's the second time actually that Rossia is hosting it. And I think somehow it has an intricate relation with the Russian people. And because that is basically what has been manifested as part of the Russian culture, the educational system of Russia, the anti-imperialism, because that has been manifested almost all conferences that we've attended. And also, very fundamental is that thing that we also learn is about the communist system of the Russian people, which of course we've also learned something about. But the nature of the program is in such a way that some of the delegates were divided into different groups. Some were part of the regional program, some were part of the parade. And at the end of the day, we all met in Sochi. Sochi was where the actual event actually happened.
It was a nice place. So he's smiling. You can see him smiling there. So it was a very nice place.
Some of our colleagues were in St. Petersburg, and they reckoned that they had the best moment. Some of us were in Moscow, and we reckoned that we had the best time. Of course, yourself, you were with me in Moscow. You said you had the best time. And those that, at the end of the day, all the 30,000 participants plus 10,000 volunteers all met in Sochi. Sochi is the Olympic city, where in 2014 the Olympics actually was held. And it was such a place that is so well established, so well organized, that it can gather more than 50,000 people to have a particular event there. So all of these people were gathered in this place. So you can imagine in a particular day, the number of people you actually meet, the number of people that you share your ideas with, the number of people that you network with, but the number of people that also you can also relate with to share ideas about what happens in your country and what happens in their country.
And you learn a lot.
It was such a massive network, Baba, you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, that's
such a massive network of young people about ideas, about their culture, about everything.
Pasiba.
Yeah, I mean,
pasiba. You know, those are some of the language that we learn there. Let me come back to this guy. Privet. All right, guys, welcome to the platform, because you're also part of it and you've traveled along with us, and you did well, my friend. I just want to hear a lot from you. Also, we have Abdullah Kani inside there, not like he's not around, he's already there sitting in the middle. We will have Badu first, but Badu, tell us what are some of the things you learn and you are gear, like the gear is in you to come and really, you know, somebody would tell me vomit it in the Gambia so that everybody can benefit. But are you really ready to work for the Gambians?
Well, thank you very much, Baba. First of all, I want to thank you for giving us the platform to come on board and then show our experience and share some of the things that we have learned from Russia. And I'm also thanking the whole team because it's very, very important that we thank each other, because we had each other when we went to Russia and everything was fine. Alhamdulillah, we are all back. And I think congratulations to each and every one of them. I think this is the first time that youths have actually, went to Europe and all of them came back. No one actually absconded, and I'm very happy and proud of them. The Gambian people are sure to expect a lot, and then I believe we have learned things that are mouth-watering, things that are enormous to the development of the Gambia. You will talk to people, ministers and other people, they will say the future of the Gambia lies in the hands of the youths. And the youths were the people who went to Russia and then, had this experience and of course have the opportunity to come back to their country and share this experience with them. But one thing that I will talk about actually is conflict, the resolution as far as conflict is concerned. Personally, I learned a lot about that. When I went there, we had seminars, we had conferences like the Able SJ, Secretary General of the Students' Union, made mention, saying, anti-imperialism and all of these things. But they said conflict, how to eradicate conflict in a particular state, how to eradicate conflict not only in one nation, but also in a whole continent. These people some of them were invited from Harvard University, and they came, they were telling us, you realize that we don't actually have that platform in the Gambia here, platform where we'll invite high-caliber people with very, very strong background as far as education is concerned, and many other stuff as far as international law is concerned. They will come and tell you that conflict can actually be avoided by every single person in a particular state. If the Gambia, Senegal, and other countries actually understand that, then obviously conflict will no longer be available in Africa, and more so in Europe and other countries.
And are you ready to fight for conflict, whereby conflicts can occur in anywhere? You're ready to really go in there?
They had one theory, and I want to share it with the people here.
Okay.
And the theory was, the theory, that particular theory, I mean.
You are a theorist then.
No,
now.
not necessarily theory. It is something from another person, and it's not actually something that I made up.
Okay.
But they actually came up with a theory, and I believe that theory, when initiated in any country, will bring a fruitful gain to that particular country. What they said was, conflict is avoided by one single person. They would say, yes, the continent is at war. America, for example, is at war and all that. But what happens at the end of the day? They would say the continent is at war. But do you understand that the country, every nation in that particular continent, is responsible for any conflict that is happening? Because they're saying if you ensure there is maximum security, if you ensure there is peace and stability in your nation, then conflict would no longer arise from that particular continent. If Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and all these West African countries, plus all other parts of Africa, are maintaining peace to the highest standard, there wouldn't be any conflict coming from this place. And this is where it started. We, the youths, are having the mind, the fresh mind. Some of them will even say, I am happy. They're saying they're happy because they were not born during the time of Adolf Hitler, when some people were saying they were fighting for the right cause, and the other part was saying they're fighting for the right cause. Who is fighting for the right cause? But now that they are born in this generation, they're not very happy that they were not born in our generation, because we have the opportunity to learn and to settle matters using dialogue instead of conflict.
Exactly.
And some of these things we can share with the Gambian people.
I didn't stop you.
Yes.
I know that if I allowed you, you've learned a lot. Yeah. I just want you to implement it. Don't say much. Just leave them. Just implement it, please. Let's have Abdullah. Abdullah, Ibrahim has highlighted what you did. You did a great stuff. Azan has also highlighted things that you've done. We are very proud of you. And to be honest with you, you are a good leader and you've done well. So, but just tell us, Abdullah, what is this delegation in collaborations with the Youth Council or even with the Ministry of Youth and Sport, to implement such of knowledge or things that they learned back in Russia or in Sochi, and they are ready to make sure that Gambian youths escalate and develop.
Okay, first of all, I would like to tell you that I am a Russian now. Привет, спасибо.
Спасибо.
And before going further, I would like to thank the ministry and the Russian organization and also the embassy for trusting us and giving us this opportunity to go to Russia and represent our countries. Okay, being there was fascinating, and having the selection of committed Gambians to go and come back was another thing, So it was incredible. Gambians, we were 21 in there. We represented thematic areas, including entrepreneurship, politics, technology, and conflict resolution. So we had a couple of people who went for different sessions, and it was amazing. We didn't only go there for cultural issues, but we also went there to learn things and learn to work with other people from different countries. Compared to Gambia, compared to other countries, Gambia, I think we went with a small delegation, but the impact that we have done there is amazing.
Yeah.
We participated in every event.
From most of the Russians.
Yeah, we participate in every event.
Yeah.
And I would like to
please
thank
clap for that, my friends. Clap for that. At least, you've done well. For sure.
To come to your question regarding what the Youth Council, the ministry have helped us in this, is they have given us the way, because we needed support from our own government. That is what we needed as a youth. You understand? So they have given us that full support, and we had it, and we were able to go and represent our countries. And I would like to thank the youth Minister of Youth and Sports for and the minister himself for helping us out with tickets, so that we could have been able to attend and participate in Rossia.
Yeah.
So
that's great. Thank you very much, Abdullah. You've said it all. You've did all, but you've said it all too. So thank you very much once again. Let's have the lady. Lady in the house. Tell us. You are smiling. The smile is still not finished with you. Tell us what happened in Rossia.
Okay, I can say I am also a Russian, as Abdullah said. Spazos. Okay, I've learned so many things in Russia, interact with people, meet with from different continents. My going to Russia has added so many things in my life. I learned a lot, like how to interact with people and exchange ideas, and also numbers, the contact that I've also made. My going to Russia was not like to go there just to say I've gone to Russia, but I've learned so many things, and things like, because I'm an actress in the Gambia here, so I also attended a conference whereby movie was also discussed. So, and how an actress is supposed to be if you are on set, not to behave like anyhow, and how you should behave to your directors and the like. So
are you ready to take Gambia movie forward then?
Sure, I am.
Of course.
Yeah. So it has also helped me, I as a youth, that if I come back to the Gambia, which I am presently in the Gambia, how I can give back to my nation.
You are already in the Gambia.
Sure.
You are not in Russia. Are you dreaming?
Saying.
Are you telling us that you're dreaming?
I am not, yeah. So the things that I can give back to my fellow youths out there. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much, Susan. That was so wonderful. We really appreciate that. Idris, I heard that Idris is a very handsome man, and then your girls were all over him.
Come on.
Idris, tell us the truth. I heard that you came with a Russian wife.
That's what they said. They said.
Guys, it's just a joke. Don't mind him. Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon to you all. And first of all, I would like to thank the selection committee, not forgetting also Lamin Manga, for him. He was so helpful, very helpful, during the facilitation of our visas and other stuffs. And also the team that I went with, the whole Gambian delegates as well. Mr. Baba,
yes, thank you.
Rossia is it's an amazing place, honestly. And like when people ask me how is Rossia, I tell them that it's not big, but it's huge. Yeah, definitely, it's huge. Rossia is huge. And when they ask me whether it's cool, I said no, extra cool. Exactly. Yeah, Baba, for me, the sessions that I attended, the future of technology, that's my area. I'm a technophile. I'm a person who loves technology. The future of aviation, the technology of the future also, and how the technology will be in the future. So, and before, if you talk to people, if you tell people that we will have mobile phones, to communicate, people say that you are lying. But now we have, exactly, they will never believe you. But now you have Bluetooth, not even Bluetooth, but you have now apps, which make video calls, voice calls, video calls, like WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, and others.
The phone can do anything now.
Exactly. And the most amazing thing that I have seen there is they are telling you the aviation of the future. You will see these aeroplanes without pilots. Just imagine that.
That is the future.
Yeah, that is the future.
And what are we doing about the future? We Gambians and Africans as a whole.
Exactly, because we said we are working towards Agenda 2063, and Europe are saying 2030. So I think our leaders, in fact, what Russia did, that's what they're supposed to do. To have this in one country, in one African country, we all go and attend. Train us, you know, we come back, give back to our community.
Give the youth the chance.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Idris. We'll come back to that. That's a very wonderful point. But let's come to, let's say, one of Paos or the other here. Can you give it to Paos down there? Paos. Paos. Salahi, Paos. What were you eating? Huh?
No. Well, Russia is beautiful. Russia is awesome. Russia is amazing, you know. But I really didn't enjoy the food compared to the Benechins, the Domadas, you know. You could still feel it. As soon as I landed, all I was thinking of was the Benechins and Domadas, yes.
Oh my God.
If I was to talk about my experience in Russia, I would probably take the whole program to explain. But first, you know, you could feel the vibe, you could feel the energy that the youths of the country had from the beginning of the process down to the end, from all of us, you know, boarding the same flights, going together to Dakar, you know, you could feel the energy that the youths had. You could see that the next person would do anything for you, not just because you are Gambian, but because he is Gambian. He is going to show you what Gambians are like.
Yeah, and we've seen that by displaying your culture.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll be showing you that picture right now. You can see them displaying their culture to show people what Gambia is exactly.
Exactly, and it does not only come down to that. This trip has really enhanced me as a human being. I have been a gender activist and a child rights activist since I was 13, since I was way younger.
But how old are you now?
I'm more than 20.
Are you still 13?
Yes, I'm more than 20. Let me just say it that way. Okay. So you could see that it, you know, a long time has elapsed.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is that mingling with these amazing people really brought out the me inside me. Wow. I had someone in me that I never realized. I made brothers, life-serving brothers. I would forever cherish the moment I spent with each and every one.
That's a very good philosophical talk. I really like that. But Paos, we will, like you said, if we allowed you, you will use the whole program.
Yeah, exactly.
We have other people's here. Let's have Emel before we come to our last participant. Emel, tell us, Emel, I want you to tell us what do you learn and what have you started implementing anything that you've learned from there?
Baba, I think I'm going to use the whole program if I am to tell you what we learned in Rossia.
Yeah,
but just to throw light on what the previous speaker said, I think it is really a big opportunity to take part in a global conference of this type. Like I, as a political science major in the University of the Gambia, I deem it necessary to take part in a conference that advocates for global governance, because one of the themes of the festival was global governance. Exactly. And I think as humans, as my previous speakers rightly said, it is our responsibility to come together to develop our own, to develop ourselves and of course solve our problems. You know, we would never have robots or angels coming down to solve our problems. Exactly. Like we went to Rossia, different people from different cultures and all of that. Like we were able to unify ourselves as one to achieve a common goal. Now this is something we want to center in the Gambia. People from different tribes, irrespective of where we come from, the tribes. It is our responsibility to come under one umbrella to push from where we stopped.
No more tribe Gambia. No more tribe. Gambians, Gambia for Gambians.
We don't want to give room for that anymore, because we were really surprised when we went to Rossia, one of the biggest countries in the world. You know, we're able to come together. You wouldn't believe the friendship, the chemistry between individuals. So I think as Gambians, we were able to realize that we need to take this philosophy back home, make everybody understand that ñun ñoo fi moom, ñun rek la. And that's the only way we can move forward. So I think I would do injustice if I'm to use the whole time on talk.
That's true. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's have the last gentleman who has been smiling the whole day, Sana. Sana, I was told that you want to go back to Russia. Is that true?
In fact, he wanted to abscond.
Baba, thank you.
He almost absconded.
I had to drag him to the airport to bring him back.
Let's just say I'm the one that is being highlighted here, but I know people that wanted to abscond. Baba, thank you for inviting us here. Like, I'm really happy for being here.
Can you use the mic, please?
For being here. Gambians, it does not matter where, it does not matter how, we will always be one. We help each other. In this trip, we help each other.
We really help each other. Please clap for that, please. That's a really good thing.
Like, I thank, how do you call it again? I thank Ablai Kanye.
Our able leader.
Yeah, he has done a lot. He has wasted a lot of time. You know, all for us. He wanted the best for us. And alhamdulillah, we have had the best. You know, I want to thank the Rossian people too. They have really welcomed us. You know, I enjoyed their food. I am a foodie, so I enjoy it anyhow.
So you've been eating the whole day?
No
wonder you can see your face.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Well, I have learned a lot. I see things differently now. You know, I have learned that I, as a youth, should not wait for the government. I should come with my own stuffs. Whatever I want, I have to show the people that I want it. For someone to do something for you, you need to show him that without him, you will do it.
Exactly.
Understand? We as Gambian youth need to start thinking that way.
All right.
We need to explore our options.
Okay, of course.
Yeah.
We will solely do that. That's a very good advice, and I think Gambians are listening. We should take over and make sure that the development of our country is in our heart, and we make sure we take it over. And that's why we were there, and when we were there, we learned that. We said, look, you know, we need to come back home and develop our country. Let's come back to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, what is the difference between Rossia and Gambia? I think somebody will tell me, why is he asking that question? I will ask that question because we've never been there. Yeah. And when we went there, you've seen the difference. Can you tell us, please?
Well, I think the difference between Rossia and the Gambia is quite extensive, and it's numerous as well. First and foremost, you have to look at it from a geographical context. Rossia is in Europe, of course, at the heart of Europe, I must admit, and the Gambia, of course, is in West Africa. But I think what is core here to stipulate is the fact that cultural variation and tolerance as well that we've seen, and the ability to welcome other people that came from far and wide, and incorporate them as people that are perhaps not Russians, is something that for me was a remarkable achievement. And it will interest you, Baba, to know. Of course you are there, so it will not interest you. No, before we went to Russia, we had lots of misconceptions. Yeah. That Russians are quite difficult, they are not welcoming to the people, and lots of other myths, which at the end of the day, Russians did significant well in changing our perception.
Really
today we sit here, a lot of us want to go back to Russia to study. So we are, in fact, what now for the way forward, besides the cultural variation, the way forward for us Gambians is to look at a way of how the union that we shared in Rossia, the ideas that we learned from Rossia, how we can see and meet our necessary individuals to make sure we implement and initiate such plans in the Gambia for youth empowerment and sustainability, because that is important, and that is what will take this country forward.
Exactly.
So these are people that are so determined. You wouldn't believe, I can tell you the experience that we had. People from different parts of the world came with their ideas of changing the world. In fact, I was one of those whose stories were actually selected as the 10 most outstanding volunteerism stories. And I was awarded there, and you can find the video online. But my story was nothing compared to the young people that I've met that are doing immensely in the little way possible in their communities to change lives. So how about us that are also in the little way doing in our country, if we avail the opportunity to make difference in our societies? These people have energy, they have the ideas. So we need to avail them the opportunities to make these differences in our society. And we can do it.
Pasiba.
We can do it.
Pasiba. Pasiba. Pasiba in Russia means thank you. So let's come to Hassan. Hassan,
yeah.
I want you to make this very short. Just give your last word to the general public if they are listening to you.
Okay, my last word to the Gambian people is going to be, let us be one. Because 30,000 people in one place, all singing the same song, all dancing to the same tune, is not easy. So let Gambians be one, and let them know that this team that went to Russia did not just go to Russia because they want to go to Russia. But we went to Russia to get something. And now that we are back, just look at our faces and then expect a lot from us. We are coming, we are here though, but we are going to do a lot for the Gambian youths. The youth who is as far as Basse is going to gain something from this group, this little group that went to Russia.
Abdullah, Hassan, thank you very much. You heard that, that's wonderful. And then I hope so, what you said. Maybe they will ask me again. They might send me messages and say whether what Hassan said is been implemented or not. So let's come to Abdullah. Abdullah, I want you to close this before I just do my closing remark. But just tell us, in general, how many languages do you learn in Russia?
Well,
just tell us words, like some of the sentence.
I think he can tell you about his heart. That's a unique thing that happened in Russia. I think you should ask him.
You are right.
No, what happened in Russia?
No, they said what happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah. So Abdullah, just in short, that was just a joke. But just in short, give us a closing. Like, what do you have for the general public, in your closing remark?
Okay, like I said earlier, before we went to Russia, we had an objective that we've already set here. We wanted to come up with something similar to what can sustain our youths here to do something, to do a development in our country over here. So that was the objective we went there over with, and we shared it with people, and now we gained more education regarding it. Then we believe when we make when we explore that here, we're gonna make an impact in the lives of every single youth. We also want to add up to coming up with a festival like this kind. It's not gonna be this huge. Like, we wanna start a small scale festival where youths from this country, we're gonna start a national youth festival where we can all come together and share ideas and also learn from each other, and then we can explore whatever we have to in our various places.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you very much, Abdullah. On that note, I have to thank my two gentlemen on the platform here, and thanks once again to all of you. I really appreciate your gesture coming to the platform, explaining to the public the things that you learned back in Rossia, which is very important. But also, before I go, I have to just say this. Now, from now on, I will be giving you this: what is balanced and what is not balanced. Now, what is balanced is whenever we go as a group, when we come back, let us make a group. Let us make sure that we highlight everybody in a group, which is very important. Don't go individually and try to sell out yourself whilst you go with people. Now, we should all come back and make sure that we do this thing, which is very, very important. So some people were asking me, was only one person, we saw something on the newspaper, it indicated that it was only one person who was like, no, guys, probably it was misunderstood, but all these young, wonderful faces, they all went there and they did great stuffs. I'm telling you, you'll be very proud of these people if you went there. So that is something that we should really balance. And finally, before I go, Gambians, we've been talking about politics. My friend, what we see out there is telling us that we are really not moving. We have to stop talking about politics and take our country forward. Whenever somebody against the government or speaks something about the government or speaks something about a parastater, doesn't mean that he's really reverting to the government. He's speaking in terms of development. Let us not take it in the perspective of partisans, or let us not take it in the perspective of what, tribal politics. There is no tribal politics in the Gambia. We should really eradicate that and work as one nation to develop our country. On that note, I have to thank you very much. And then here I will stop until another time. Thank you.
One way or another, I shall have deliverance. Deliverance.